19 children. 19 children have lost their lives. 2 faculty members lost their lives.
We know a few things now that likely most people on our planet didn't know just roughly over a day ago. Uvalde, it's a small town of about 15,000, 25,000 if you look at the county. It's west of San Antonio. More than 80% of people here identify as Hispanic or Latino. Robb Elementary. It's the name of a school we know now for students in grades 2 to 4. And tragically, we know the faces and the names. We're learning some of the stories of the victims. These are 17 of the 19 children killed, identified with photos by midday. They're aged 7 to 10. 2 adults, including this teacher, also killed. Before Tuesday's horrific tragedy, though, there were a few things that we did know. We knew all too well what a schoolyard looks like from above. Footage like this from a helicopter when a place where kids play and learn becomes a crime scene. The fallout from a mass shooting is also something we are all too familiar with. The volume on the gun debate in the U.S., it is cranked up and then dialed down. Will things change this time? A question we're hearing over and over again. We're going to be talking to an expert coming up, Dr. Myrna Lashley. She's with McGill University. She had a lot to say to us today. Let me just give you a little sample here.
This kind of hatred, and it scares me. It frightens me because Canadians have a false sense of security.
Dr. Lashley, a psychologist, has plenty more to add. But first, the latest from authorities in Texas.
The only information that was known in advance was posted by the gunman on Facebook approximately 30 minutes before reaching the school. The first post was, he said, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother." The second post was, "I shot my grandmother." The third post, maybe less than 15 minutes before arriving at the school, was, "I'm going to shoot an elementary school."
Facebook later said those messages were private and only discovered after the shooting. This photo of 2 AR-15 style rifles posted to an Instagram account has now been reportedly connected to the 18-year-old shooter. Texas Governor Greg Abbott speaking at a news conference with law enforcement after the deadliest shooting at a U.S. elementary school since Sandy Hook almost a decade ago.
The first thing that happened was that the gunman shot his grandmother in the face.
She survived and called police, but the gunman fled their home, crashed his car near Robb Elementary, entering the school through a back door wearing tactical gear, carrying an AR-15 style rifle, and barricaded himself in a 4th grade classroom, killing students and teachers before he was fatally shot by a U.S. Border Patrol officer, Abbott said.
You're out of line and an embarrassment.
The debate over gun control in the U.S. erupting Wednesday. An update from Greg Abbott, the Republican governor of Texas, on the school shooting that killed 21 people, most of them young children, interrupted by Democrat Beto O'Rourke, who will be taking on Abbott in November's election. O'Rourke confronting Abbott for loosening rather than restricting the state's gun laws. Officials on stage slamming O'Rourke for politicizing the shooting.
It is absolutely wrong. In fact, it is insane. The governor talks about mental health. It is insane that we allow an 18-year-old to go in and buy an AR-15. What the hell did we think he was going to do with that? This one is on us.
Speaking to reporters outside, O'Rourke calling out Abbott for planning to attend a previously scheduled National Rifle Association's annual meeting in Houston on Friday. When asked Wednesday, Abbott would not say if he was still going to go. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, who is scheduled to speak, said Wednesday he still plans to attend.
Given the nature of the gun culture in the United States, there's going to be another shooting. as sure as God made a little green apple.
Dr. Myrna Lashny is a psychologist with McGill University in Montreal, who was quick to mention that Tuesday's rampage in Texas was the 27th school shooting in the U.S. so far this year.
It's unfathomable.
Yeah.
It's not, these are little kids. The youngest is 7, the oldest is 10. And it scares me. It frightens me because Canadians have a false sense of security. And we like to think it doesn't happen here, but it happened in Nova Scotia. It happened in Ontario. It happened in Quebec City. It happened at Dawson. It happened at Université de Montréal. And it's gotten worse since Dawson and Université de Montréal. But hate has no border.
Dr. Lashley says there are no easy answers or solutions in the wake of such horrific tragedies, but she does encourage reaching out to members of our communities and to find ways in your day-to-day life to foster connections.
Canadians, we've got to get out of our cocoon. We've got to get out of our cocoon. And we've got to start caring for all the people in the world.
Melissa Duggan, City News.